Hi, my name is Sean from the Social Ref program, a program that tries to teach new referees and umpires how to communicate better to become better sports officials. And we're going to go through 5 quick referee hacks, 5 quick hacks for new referees, umpires, and officials that are going to help you communicate better with players, coaches, and fans, no matter what your league, no matter what your rules, and no matter what your sport. Ref hack number 1, perhaps one of the simplest ideas, change one word. A very common response from refs and umps when they get started. Player says, "Why didn't you call that?" "Well, I didn't see it." Can you change the see to have? I didn't see it versus I didn't have it. I didn't have it gives you much more flexibility and it helps build your credibility. If you keep saying I didn't see it over and over and over again, you're going to start to lose trust and credibility with the players on the field because they're going to say, this ref doesn't seem to see anything that I'm looking for. I didn't have it gives you more flexibility. I didn't have it, I'll watch for it going forward. I didn't have it on that play. Oh no, I see what you're talking about, but I didn't have it. Those players just fell down. That wasn't actually a foul in the play. Try using I didn't have it whenever you have the instinct to say, I didn't see it. Referee hack number 2, start with yeah. We called this the Office Space hack from the boss in Office Space who walks around the whole movie saying, yeah. But yeah is just a much better response even if you disagree with what the person or the player is saying. Starting with no is an automatic escalator. Ref, that was totally a foul. No, that was not a foul. Ref, that was totally a foul. Yeah, I see what you mean, but I didn't have it on that play. We're combining the I didn't have it with the yeah response. Great social refs always seem to respond with yeah because it's much more comforting and much more engaging even if what they're about to say is actually no. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I see what you're saying. However, and then they go to their actual explanation instead of just saying, no, you're wrong, and here's my explanation. Try starting with yeah whenever possible instead of starting with no because no is an automatic escalator. Ref hack number 3. Can you have a pivot in your back pocket? New refs and umps think that they're in the persuasion business. You are not in the persuasion business. You are not out reffing and umping to win arguments or to win people over and change their minds. It's not gonna happen. Instead, you are in the diffusion business, the natural conflict that's built into the job when people don't like your decisions and don't like your calls. Can you diffuse that conflict and keep your game on track and not have your game get bogged down into big fights and arguments? The way to do that is to diffuse the conflict that's going to crop up. When somebody wants to argue a call over and over and over again, do you have a pivot in your back pocket to get out of that stuck situation? Because the more you explain that call, if somebody's upset or angry, the worse you're going to make it. In some cases, new refs and umps go even further. They say, well, I keep trying to explain this call, the person just doesn't get it, so I'm going to show them what they did, which makes things 10 times worse. We call this the reenactment trap. Do not reenact plays for players, coaches, and fans who don't like your call, and do not endlessly explain them over and over again. The issue is not that people don't hear what you're saying. The issue is that people don't understand it or they just don't like it. And oftentimes players will try and trip you up by getting you to explain the same thing over and over again. After 1 or 2 explanations, what's your pivot? Yeah, I hear you're still frustrated. Come grab me at halftime. Yeah, I hear you're still upset or you're still confused. Let's talk about it more in the next break in the action. What is your pivot to get out of a stuck situation? You may not have it every play, but there's going to be several parts in a game where you're going to have that angry player who just wants you to keep repeating yourself over and over again. You need to have a pivot to get out of that situation. Yeah, come grab me at the next break in the action and we'll talk about it more. I can explain it to you more later. That's the pivot. Make sure you have a pivot when you get started as a ref and ump. Idea number 4, one of our best diffusion techniques, one of our best hacks. Can you try gifting basic game information? Oftentimes, coaches, fans, especially players, will be asking you for game information. We call this the scoreboard information. It's part of one of the core habits of the Social Ref program, becoming the scoreboard. If a player or coach keeps asking you for information over and over again, basic information like time or timeouts or the score, can you try gifting them that information instead by making it a very personal communication? Ref, how much time is left? 2 minutes versus, ref, how much time is left? Coach, I got 2 minutes on the clock for you. That you, that your clock, that idea, that's a gifting information. Ump, how many outs? 1 away. 1 out versus batter, I have 1 out for you. I have 1 away for you. Quarterback, I have a minute left on the clock and 2 timeouts left for you. Those are all examples of gifting basic scoreboard, basic game info when you're communicating with your players. Give it a try. It's an awesome way to build credibility with players and also to collect thank yous. And idea number 5, and perhaps one of the simplest ideas, the hack of the perspective switch. Can you start training your brain and your instincts, instead of saying to somebody when they're questioning a call or questioning a decision you made, to push back and say, this is what you did? Can you try switching instead to, this is what I saw. This is what I saw from my perspective. That's why we call it the perspective switch. In many, many cases, especially with recreational athletes who are not great players and don't play the game very often, they're going to do a whole ton of stuff they don't even realize they do. I've seen it enough over all the years. People will put up elbows, even the nicest person in the world. They'll put up their knee, they'll put up an elbow, they'll push off somebody, they'll grab a jersey, and they won't even realize that they did it. So continuing to tell somebody over and over again, no, this is what you did. You did this. Why is there a penalty, ref? Because this is what you did. Your forearm came up. Your forearm came up. Versus, this is what I saw. And one of a great hack you can add on to the perspective switch is the idea of the historical voice. This is what I saw, as opposed to your forearm came up and pushed that player. This is what I looked like, from my perspective, looked like your forearm came up versus the historical voice. Looked like the forearm came up before the ball got there. I'm taking the you out of it. So again, I'm gifting information, I'm adding the you. But when you're accusing somebody or when you're telling somebody what they did wrong, you're actually removing the you and you're using the historical voice. From where I was at, looked like the forearm came up, the elbow came up before the ball got there. As opposed to, this is what you did, your elbow came up and hit that player. They might not even realize their elbow came up. They were probably looking for the ball or looking to guard their player. Those are your 5 communication hacks. Try them out. Don't try them all out at the same time, but try them out, see how you do with them, and keep in mind all those simple ideas, changing I didn't see it to I didn't have it, adding that pivot, trying gifting information. Try all those basic ideas that most new referees and umpires miss to make yourself a better communicator and make your job easier as you're learning how to become a referee and umpire.